What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session. Today, we're going to be looking at
Some live hands, some online hands. We'll start with Caesars playing in Las Vegas. Um, went into the room. Uh, the first table that was available was a 1-3. They had a 1-3 game. They had a 2-5 game, neither of which had the straddle on all the time. So it was a real 2-5 game. And they had a 5-5 double board PLO bomb pot, among other things. Um, Even though we've looked at some PLO bomb pots, I decided that playing in the 2-5 was the best choice for me. Um, I had to sit in the 1-3 for 20 minutes before I got a seat, so we have a couple of 1-3 hands, and then we go on. Caesars has no bad beat jackpots. It's got no high hands, nothing like that. And the rake is the rake is 5%, and at the 2-5, it's capped at $6. So if you are a California player, this rake is great. This is like a timed game rake for me. This was so cheap. Well,
Yeah.
I play here all the time. Um, so we sit down in the 1-3. We're 4 players, 5 players, 6 players. Kind of shorthanded going on. Um, First hand we see, we have this fun. We get a limp. We have ace 9 suited. We'll go. We'll raise against the limp there. We could also call behind with a suited ace. Both work. But this is what we're going to do. Going for the heads up in position. We get called in 2 places. All right. So this hand is now going to play itself. I'm not going to try anything fancy. Nothing's going to happen. King 5-3. Check, check, check. I'm checking behind. Good enough. The 9 comes. Hey, that's nice. All right. I could have the best hand. Bet 15. Bet 45. Fold. Obviously, we're folding. We're not doing anything cute here. We fold. We get a call there. All right. In the river, this guy bets right out. So we're not in the hand, but what are we thinking about these guys' ranges right now? What do we think about what their hands might be?
Let's go through the can we go through the action again? A little
Yeah.
bit more
They
yeah,
call they call each they each
detail.
call an ISO pre-flop,
All right, so okay, got
right?
it. So
Right?
big cards, implied odds cards, yeah.
Right. This hand it checks through, which could easily, I mean, either of them could have a set of threes, set of fives, and have it check through,
Yeah.
right? They would check and now come out.
And the players that you saw would be capable of checking twice.
They don't check twice.
Oh, oh,
One
oh,
check,
flop check through.
flop check through. Yeah, yeah. You could see
Okay,
either of these guys in early position slow playing a monster, so they could have monsters.
okay,
Sure.
as they
Um,
should be.
All
yep.
right, we get second pair, and then we see a $60 in the middle, and then the small blind bets out, right?
The small blind bets out. Nice small bet.
Technically a stab, about
Technically
quarter
a probe.
pot.
Technically a probe. I think
Okay.
after checks around.
All right.
Bet small and a probe. Probe bets usually are small. This seems fine. Flush
In
draw.
position
Big
raise.
draw. King queen. Sure, he could have any of these. He could have kings that he could have a king here easily. That was going for a check raise, or even it didn't go for a check raise. He'd have king jack and decide that it's the best hand now, right?
In position raise.
In position raise.
You wisely fold.
It is wise, trivially fold. You don't even need Joey for that fold.
And then okay, now we go to a river, which
You at least
is
Hollywood to let them think like, oh man,
Not in the least. Not in the least. I I had my persona, my thought process here. By the way, the buy-in limit here is 100 big blinds, which
okay.
surprised me that it was so low. A 1-3 game with a $300 buy-in. Anyway, no, I didn't. At the point when I got called in 4 places, I was just like, this hand is easy to play. Betting my
Absolutely.
best hands and draw. It's like I don't have to I don't have to think about this hand unless something very weird happens. If the turn had gotten checked to me, I might have bet. I might have bet a vulnerable 9 on the turn.
all right. He calls.
Yeah. If one player bets and everybody folds, I might have called one bet with a 9. If he bet and he called, I was out with a 9. No, no chance. I might have called Um, certainly if this player had bet, if it went check, check, he bet.
How late into the session was this for you?
This is first, second, third hand. This is immediately at the
Okay.
table. This is very early on at the table. Okay. And then we get the call. Flush draw, easy.
Stuff around gutters.
Yeah. Deuce four, 4-6, combo draw, 4-6 suited, easy. King Jack still plays this way, right?
I think so.
Yeah. King Jack, even King Queen.
Uh,
River Deuce comes,
brick of all bricks. And
and
he
now he
chooses
bets out.
to bet out a third.
Yeah.
What does this look like is the question. I mean, the
He
first weird
bets.
thought that came to mind was a weird Hungry Horse bluff, even though it makes no sense, trying to win the pot from busted draws that are semi-bluffing. But
Okay.
I would think this is, I mean, I think the most likely holding here is some kind of, let me see, so he flatted your, I would say like King Jack, King 10.
Oh, you think, so he's setting his price here. He's
That's
setting his
my,
price.
He's
He's setting his
blocking.
price. He's block betting to set his
yeah,
price.
yeah,
And
that's my guess.
maybe to fold to a raise, or maybe not fold to a raise, but like that. Okay. So that's why he bets into the razor. He goes, let's make this only 50. You've got to have a good hand. You've got to have two pair plus or a bluff to raise this. Just a king isn't going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So he bets, he gets called. And the showdown is this.
Ah,
At which point I went, this guy flatted my raise with ace king. She flats that with queen queen, and then raises queen queen on the turn. The worst thing possible to do with queen queen.
well, you know what? I think that raise on the turn was about he was never going to value bet
Let
river.
me see where I'm
He
at.
was
Raise.
attempting to buy a showdown, but you were in the hand. That doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, but we
Yeah,
think that
it is horrible.
you think it's horrible. So at that point, it's like, oh, you are not going to be able to play this table like when their check calls are necessarily weak. The money you're going to make on this table is they're not going to make enough money from their good hands.
Yeah, yeah, you better hand him.
Yeah, you better hand them.
You're
And
gonna best hand them if they're calling. I mean, that kind of action and queens get to showdown.
right. And so I don't think I'm not planning until I see some more, but I'm dialing down my bluffing frequency here and deciding that I'm going to make bigger bets than they are. That's where I think the money's going to be.
You know, Hungry Horse said had an interesting tweet, which was I thought speaks to what you're talking about. He said players shouldn't go to the table with preconceived notions of
Yes.
I'm going to play more disciplined today, or I'm going to find my
Well,
bluff spots today. Poker should be about being highly elastic and adjustable to the table at which you find yourself.
Yes.
yes, he has a whole video on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a good point.
So I opened a 10. We actually get to see his hand. He has pocket kings. He flats his pocket kings. There's a field caller.
Is this the same player from
Uh,
last time?
let's see which one of them it is. We can count from me. 1, 2, 3. I don't know, and I didn't keep the note because I'm leaving this table in a second. So this was just how they played. So I don't know.
I mean, typical 1-3 BS with the
Yeah.
ace king and the queens.
Yeah, exactly. So we get a field caller, a perfect time to squeeze, doesn't squeeze. Either doesn't know what a squeeze is or just wants to be cute. Or wants to see a flop without an ace before putting money in. I don't know what the thought process here is.
It just shaved 20% equity off his kings.
Yeah, right, exactly. But it decided to do that. And I didn't even record what the rest of the hand was. Something happened. I didn't lose,
So you're setting up essentially the nature of this table.
Yeah, this is the nature of the table. And then I get called, and then my seat opens at the other table. And so I'm going to move to the 2-5, and I put in the note to myself. I go, why am I moving?
That is a good
No.
question that I would wonder here.
Yeah. So, I'm wonderful. So that was this table, and went, okay, that's how they're playing. And now we can forget about all them. They're gone. But I did think about it. I go, this is a profitable table. Why am I moving? All right.
Did you just have it kind of where you set that you wanted to play T5? I mean, those are your close to your normal stakes, right?
Yeah. I wanted to, I didn't want to play a $300 buy-in. I mean, as much as I wanted to play more money.
Yeah,
Um,
got it.
like that. I thought about it for a beat. I mean, I did think about not moving. Um, so here we are. We're at the new table. This is not the first hand, relatively early. Here we are on the big blind with aces. We like that. The guy who raises here, we were in a hand with him where he raised to 15. We were out of position. We raised to 65, I think, and he folded. We had ace king. So we know that he has a raise and fold button.
Which not everyone has live, as we know.
Yep. So we know he has that. And the other thing we've seen is, I think at this point, we've seen him make a big bet that wasn't called. And the guy sort of asked him to show, and he goes, "No, you got to put the money in to show." So doesn't mean he didn't have it, doesn't mean he is bluffing, but he has big bets in his arsenal. He also has, we've seen, he may or may not have lost a hand, so we saw him, but he's got, he starts the hand like 870 or 900. And we may have seen him up to 1,000. So he's either got lucky or he knows something about playing. So that's just, we are not putting him in the person who buys in for half a buy-in and limps in and wants to see a lot of pots and only puts in a couple of dollars, and like that. So this one he opens to 20. So I think so I undersize by a little bit. I go to 75 because he has a fold button. Get called. Great. Queen, 6. The horse would check here, would check range, out of position. I'm not choosing to do that. Also, I have no ace of hearts, so I'm not that interested in the flop going check. Our SPR is, 3-1. So it's not easy for it to be a 2-street game at 3-1. I got to be a little big, but it's trivial at 3-1. So we bet small. We get raised.
Good.
Yep. So we're way ahead or way behind. I think about here, my thought process is, that at this SPR, if I want to play the hand, I can just jam. I can also fold to his queen, but when he has a bluff of any kind, do I want him to fold it? Do I want him to fold a flush draw here? No. Do I want to make it easy, trivial on a queen? No. And so even out of position. And plus, if it goes check on the turn, I can now bet the river, easily, and the pot will be the right size. So I can get this all in if I want to. I don't think I want to say I wasn't kidding. So I call. Of course, the jack, one of the worst cards, for if he's playing his jacks wrong. I check. He goes all in. I think not too long, but it's not a trivial one. It is very nice that the idea of going, well, I've got another buy-in my pocket. I don't need to work, that these stakes are very comfortable, and that's good. You want to play at stakes that are comfortable because when we're playing no limit, it is an all-in game. All right. I don't know if this is a good choice or not. It was. His fives, we have the note.
Ah,
Immediately go to the note of going, this guy is capable. So we had a couple of clues on him being capable. We knew that his oversized bet wasn't out of character for him. That a big bet, it doesn't have to be, oh, this guy's been so tight like this. So this seems okay. He fist bumped me after the hand. I thought, okay, that's really polite of him, like this. So now we put in the note he's capable of bluff. As the hand went on, we also saw him open limp some hands. So he's not going to be, this is not the best player at the table. We don't know this yet, but it's like, okay, so people at this table are different than the other table. So this table is going to be very different. All right, fine. Later against him, on a checked through, we raised, he called a flop checks through on the turn. He takes a stab. We have king, queen as two overcards, and I decide this has showdown value. We call him. He doesn't make the third barrel on the river. We win with king, queen. We don't see his hand. So he's got bluffs. Hero who should play better than this.
uh-oh.
Yes. So we're in the big blind with king, queen. We get a raise. The raise is coming from not a specific, I don't have a note on who the player is. Field call and another field call.
I find these spots very tough with this hand class.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's easier to call with the suited combo,
Oh, yeah.
but the question becomes, is it better to turn this into a squeeze bluff? And I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you know the GTO solution for this just right off the top of your head?
No, I do not. I'm not very good with multi-way GTO
Okay.
solutions, frankly.
I should have known that this is a fold. This is a super fold. When you get the third player in and you're out of position, let me show you how tight the range is. And I know this. I don't have this one. It's not like I know memorized that low jack -1 with a low jack call and a button call that ace queen is a partial bluff here and a partial fold. I don't know it that well, but I should know that this is just such a fold here.
Yeah, I think you're
Okay.
all right.
And let me put in the okay, let's just do it we'll do the wizard. Okay. We'll do the wizard and we'll do 3. That's my phone. Yep, but I'm not getting it because of this. So at 3 big blind, it opens just to do it, which makes it even more true. But I'll show you 2.5 also. Well, we're 2.5 now. I'll just show it to you. So 2.5 here. We'll do the actual situation. 9 max. Open from here. Oh, we can't do it because we have no calls. Sorry. All right, let's do it right. Back to this. 6 max, pre-flop only. In the 3. We're gonna give it to the under the gun here, the low jack. So it's even worse than this. The player's even earlier. So low jack versus big blind, king queen, absolutely a play. All right. Give it 1 call from early position. Almost nothing. Let's put that call. Let's make it a little better for us and put that call on the button. Still, almost nothing. That's all you need to make king queen suck. Now, call the second call. I was wrong. There is some raising, but this is, just no calling here.
Yeah, yeah, I think you can muck it. I mean, I think the way that I can help to memorize this is let's think about the quality of the hand.
Yeah.
And the quality of the hand is that you've got intense reverse implied against UTG's tight range.
Yeah.
And it can't make the nuts.
Right.
I mean,
Uh,
that's probably more exemplified in the difference here between what we do with ace queen off
yeah,
and
but
ace queen.
look at what king queen suited and ace queen suited are like.
Yeah, yeah,
When
I
you're
think it's the
player,
same issue. I'm surprised we don't play king queen suited more, frankly.
I know this is the thing that to take away from this hand that I kind of knew and now I want to really know is as fourth player in, you are not fucking around. You are not.
No, you don't have.
You are
Tr-
dominated and out of position. You
You're
do
very linear.
this. Yeah. So take all your king queen
Who gives
offsuit.
a fuck that you're closing the action?
Yeah. Take all your king queen offsuit and pile it into ace queen offsuit. Um, don't fold your ace queen suited. Maybe lose your and then lose that. It's like just simplify this. Do
And
the
keep
other,
some ace king off shoves and king shoves.
yeah. And the thing that this the other thing that made me play this wrong was at this point, this is not the second hand play. This is just the second hand I make a note of. The table I've already concluded is not good. There are a lot of mistakes that I don't have notes here of. There's been a lot of limping going on. There's been a lot of multi-way pots. And sort of the hands that I've seen them with makes me think, oh, King Queen is way up there against these guys. And so I should have known to fold pre, and the weak general play caused me to play wrong, and I shouldn't. And I put in a little note to myself, time to play better. You know, I know better than this. Let's do it. And this is the other thing that reminded me to play better. So we call, big mistake, flop a king. Well, we're clearly checking. Check, check, check. One bet.
Well, I think we call and see what happens, right? I mean, we've got a back door, which is nice.
Yeah, I don't see a reason to check raise. We can. I don't think we need to. So we call. We get a call here and a fold. This call, that's bad.
Agreed.
That's bad. Don't like that. So now, where's Joey? Joey should be right behind us now, right? Check, check. He bets 45 into 137.
It's a pretty appealing price,
It is.
but what is his range here? Does this, I mean, does he have lesser king X here? I think that's really the primary part of his range, right? He's going to be around, part that we're beating is going to be around king jack, king nine.
Yeah. So pre-flop, he's the third guy in. We wouldn't be surprised to see him with king queen suited. However, what is that? That's king queen of clubs and king queen of hearts. So two of those. So two combos of that. Um, we wouldn't be shocked to see him with a suited king jack, right?
Yeah.
Three combos, two combos of that. We wouldn't be shocked. Um, we wouldn't expect ace king here very much because he flatted. And this isn't the 1-3 game, so we wouldn't expect a flat of ace king here. It's not unheard of. Um, pocket tens could be there, usually would raise. Pocket eights, easy, could be there. We know that. We've seen it. It's not GTO particularly, but we know it. Looking at what should be there, raise call his button. Yep, he's got eights. He's got some tens called, so they could do that. Even has a little ace king calling. I didn't know that. So yeah, king queen suited supposed to be always a three bet, but we know people don't. So yeah, we could be shopping, but we should also be at least highly Joey aware right now. And he bet into two people who called. And
Agreed. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we didn't
that's
improve. I I don't know if we can chuck it.
Yeah, so lose another 9 big blinds, but then fold to the river bet. Unless it's tiny.
Um, maybe we could fold.
Yeah, maybe we could fold. Yeah,
It's
maybe
very
we
hard to fold this, but
could have folded pre-flop. Since,
I
That's a
mean, we're
tough,
at the top of our
tough
range
fold.
here.
yeah, since here we are with one of the best flops, here we are with top pair, second kicker, and we are completely lost in the hand. So maybe we shouldn't be in the hand. All right.
Yeah, this is an argument for mucking free.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this is to remind all of us. That's why this hand is here. So I call, you know, you can see why. And then this happens. The call behind.
Oh
Oh,
God.
fuck.
So you only are ahead of like Queen Jack, Jack nine, maybe some Queen
So
10
do we
hearts.
have any notes on the Mr. Call behind, Mr. Overcall?
Um, let me see, let me picture the hand and see what it was. I think that this was an Asian woman in an Adidas hat who later I determined was the second best player at the table.
Okay.
But I don't think I had that conclusion now. I believe if I'm getting this right, I had already decided that she was tight, that she opened tight. You mean she wasn't in a lot of hands, so she had a tight opening range, but I don't know about her play at the end. She also had open limps. So the second best player at the table was still open limping hands. This gives you the
That's a
idea
weird
of
spot. So like,
weird.
yeah, I don't know. This is just a weird spot that
Yeah,
I get. Sometimes when I find myself in weird spots that I know like I fucked this up, I shouldn't be here, I tend to just get out.
yeah, yep. So
But
so we're not calling a pot size bet on the river with this. We are not calling a 3/4 pot size bet. If he bets into 272, if it goes check, check, and he bets 50, I'm gonna call. You know, if he bets 100, I'm gonna fold. This
I get
stupid.
it.
Yeah. So
I
I
don't
check.
even know if I could fold to 100 and given this action.
I don't know. I'm waiting to see what it is. And he just checks behind. All right, fine.
And you're good.
No, I'm not good.
No, wow.
I'm not good.
Wow.
That's how, so that's how this guy plays. He's not willing to bet his one pair on the river. He bets small on the turn with this hand. And I should have folded pre. And that's where the
What
nine, and that's
with
where our
two
notes come.
players that you most likely have crushed, you're probably getting a call with what is almost certainly the best hand, and you check it back.
Hmm.
Oh
Yep.
my God. What it
With,
did. Holy crap.
well, I took a note. All right. Next hand. This is with our friend, the French gentleman who fist bumped with the 5-5. Okay.
I mean, is he like a Euro Frenchie? Like he's
He's got
there,
a
he's
accent.
traveling to play.
We don't know. We don't know. Let me think. If so this was not a table of tourists. So at this point, this was what surprised me. Several of the people knew each other at the table. They knew the dealers. Not everybody, but several of them were clearly regular players. And everyone was playing bad at 2-5 in Vegas. And I thought, I'm gonna move back to Vegas. Um, but did I know that he was a local? Let me see how he was talking with other people. No, just had a French accent.
Because do you think he was like a traveling pro, like
No,
Frenchie,
under
like
no
Euro pro?
circumstances. Under no circumstances.
No,
Um,
no way, no chance.
not with the open limps. The
Okay.
fact that he had bluffs in his range and knew to bet big is it's like, okay, that's better than some of the players, but he's still, you know, he still was varying his opening bet size. Remember, we saw him open to 15, we saw him open to 20. We saw him limp. That doesn't sound like a Euro pro to me.
No.
Right.
That sounds like a guy who's betting the strength of his hand.
That sounds like to me. Right. So here he opened. So this is him open calling. He open calls. We get another call. We get another call. So what should we do with 9-8 suited?
Oh. I'm like a chunky raise. So what would be 25, 30, 35 to like almost to like 40, I would think.
Okay. You're going to go for a squeeze. All right.
Yeah.
Melanie, what do you want to do with 8-9 suited here? Melanie's still muted. Larry, what do you want to do with 8-9
No,
suited?
I'm sorry, I'm here.
Oh, yeah. You want to do with 8-9 suited here?
That's a small blind.
Yep.
Call.
Okay. And
I
Larry,
mean, yeah.
great. And Larry, what do you want to do with 8-9 suited here?
I think it's better as a squeeze than it is as flat
Okay. Right.
at 100 bigs.
Right. Remember though, we're playing live. So what we really want to do with 8-9 suited first is anybody? What's the first thing we want to do with 8-9 suited?
Fold.
Poker gods, we're gonna take all our opponent's money if we hit the flop.
Look left.
Ah, look left.
Look left. Before you decide, look left. And what I see when I look left is look left, no tell. He doesn't have an obvious raising hand, and it almost looks like he could fold his hand. He could, but there's nothing obvious going on. So that makes the limp behind safe. It makes the, to some extent, we didn't get 100% fold tell from him. So it's not like that. But we feel good about our limp behind, and a squeeze is okay. I decided to limp behind. I decided to do a limp.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's an easy decision.
Nothing wrong with it. Yeah. Yep. The squeeze is fine too. I think at Queen Jack suited, I think we should definitely be squeezing, even though it's not the best. It's probably not the best hand. They don't know that. The ace, queen, ace, kings, all those squeeze. Jack 10 can do either one, and right around 10, 9, 9, 8, those start to feel like they would be fine for like just putting in $3. And if you don't hit the flop, you just lose $3 and go on with your life. Just, just Jonathan Little, nothing fancy on this hand. Totally doable. And I don't hate the squeeze.
I don't hate the just flat there
Yep,
and see
yep.
what happens.
Yep. Both seem okay. But the important lesson is, in my opinion, look left. This is live. There's information sitting out there. Take it. So we get exactly what we want. We get to see the flop. No matter what the flop was, we get equity. If we get to see the flop for 3, we get equity. If we get raised off our hand, we lose equity. So this is great. And not a bad flop for us.
I'd say so. I like it.
I like it. Check, 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 check. Okay. Thank you for making it easy for me to realize my equity. The card
one time.
Yeah, the card we would like to see the most. I don't think we want the 7 of diamonds most. I think we want an offsuit 7. I think we want the 7 of clubs. That's the card we want most.
I think so too.
That'd be a good one. We get the Queen of Hearts. Still good.
Terrible. I don't hate it at all.
No.
The only hand we really have to worry about is King 9.
Yeah, not a lot of Ace King doesn't seem like it's that present. However, we did see what Ace King did at the other table, but it was limped. If anyone has Ace King who is being cute, it would be the French guy, right? We at least know that he likes to play somewhat interestingly. So he's the only person who we think would have Ace King here. All right. And we don't think he has Ace King because he has to flat it. And we don't think he has Ace King because he had to play it cute and then decide not to bet a gutter and 2 overs. He was early.
Here, you're going to be really cute or drooling on your bib.
Yeah, he could have it. Whatever. Check or bet.
I would probably lead here, but the question is for how much?
Okay. So answer the
Close to
question. How
pot.
much you want to how much you want to lead for, Mel?
Mm, it did check around on the flop. So people, I mean, if I'm just thinking purely exploitative, then if people don't have much, otherwise they would have probably bet at 2-5. I would probably go for a small size.
Okay.
Although, however, there are two hearts out there, and I should probably deny them the equity for the two hearts. So maybe I should at least go for half pot.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Those
Sure.
sound like very good thoughts to me. What do you think, Larry, on sizing? Larry,
Alright.
muted. What do you think on sizing, Andy?
I'm like going pot or close to, like when you look at Bart Hansen talks a lot about how relative and so does the horse. Relative
Right.
and absolute sizing matter less in really small pots and
Yes.
really big pots. Like right now, 25, nobody's gonna think, oh, it's a 25, it's a full pot bet, it's the
No, they're going to go.
nuts.
It's $25.
It's $25. And a
Five
lot of,
done.
especially, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 5, what kind of shit do players love to limp in with? Suited kings, which, king three could very well be in there. A
Hmm.
lot of them don't like betting those second pairs that, although no
Yeah.
second pairs picked up a flush draw, but you have lots of suited kings that are now have combo draws. Like, target the hands that aren't folding. I'm not trying to get somebody with a 10 to call. I want to try and play a big pot at this point.
Okay. All right. Those are all good thoughts. Those are good thoughts. I did the 10 on the sort of as if it were the first bet in a multi-way pot, which is often small. I don't know that this is the right thing. Um, a queen is going to call 25. Any queen. All queens are calling 25. Um, a king, just a singleton king, might even call 25. Every combo draw will call 50. Um, so
Let's
I think 20
circle.
and 25. I think 20 and 25 are fine here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we touch on what Melanie just typed in the chat?
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking pot, it has nothing to do with GTO, Melanie, at this point. Like GTO's gone out the window in this hand already,
Yeah.
right? What I'm thinking is I don't know how much but in live poker, I mean, half the players at the table, if you bet them $1,000 to tell you how much was in the pot in that second, would have no idea.
Yeah.
So they only think a lot of them really in reality are only thinking absolute bet sizing. So the actual dollar amount, not relative sizing to the pot. They
Right.
don't think, oh, he bet 25 and the pot's 25, so he bet full pot. So,
Right.
it's approaching a polar bet where it's either a nutted hand or nothing. They're thinking, oh, $25. I can call that. I have a pair.
Yeah. My hand's worth $20. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
at this point in the hand, any thought of GTO has been long gone out the window, and I'm thinking what's going to call, what's going to fold. At this point, everybody's super inelastic, so I'm going to just they're thinking absolute sizing, not relative.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that would have been a better thing on my part
So
to to
I
think
was,
that the hands that are calling there inelastic. I
yes,
my I think the way my thought process was is they're all weak. I have to bet small to get any call there because they're all weak. And um
so just
and
to do you understand the concept of like do you use the concept of relative versus absolute size? Because online play you don't really ever use relative and absolute sizing. Like that just kind of isn't a thing. That's more of a live concept to be aware of. So I
yeah,
don't know how much live you play, but in live, like sometimes then when a pot gets huge, it's same thing.
yeah,
If
exactly.
you have a $1,200 pot or
Bet $400 is
$2,400
still a
pot
big
and
bet.
bet 800,
It's a
people
huge
aren't
bet.
thinking, oh, it's only a third pot bet.
Yeah, it's
They're
huge.
thinking that's $800.
Yes. So I'm aware of that, and I don't pay as much attention to it as I should. And in my game, there are enough, the game I usually play, there are enough players there who have 4 buy-ins in their pocket that, you know, that $1,000 bet, it's a big bet, it's a big bet, but let's look at what's in the pot. So there's enough of people who are not in sort of the absolute size. But I should have concluded from this table's play already that they're going to be more likely the absolute size players. So we bet, we get called in 3 places, and now this guy raises. The raise is to 30.
Smells like a name my price on a flush draw raise.
Okay, that's possible. All right, so let's see. How likely is it that he has ace king?
Very unlikely.
Very unlikely. How likely is it that he has king 9?
Very likely.
Very likely. Um,
But just one question. I mean,
Yeah.
aren't there more combinations of ace king available still than king 9?
yes, there are, especially if you think that his king 9s are all suited. Then there's way more. But the pre-flop play doesn't, limits some of that ace king. Remember, it's a limped pot. Limp, he doesn't raise ace king after it. So that's why we're discounting his ace king. He didn't raise pre-flop, and he didn't bet the flop in position. So that pushes some of the ace king down. That's all. He can still have it. He's still allowed to have it.
Especially in live poker, once one person limps, people love to limp. They love that. Oh, I got king 9. I'll take a peek. I'll see a flop.
Yeah.
And that's
And
what, so like the relative and absolute tangent, I was kind of more asking Melanie, like, because I don't know how much live play how much live poker versus online Melanie plays.
how much, Mel?
I play more online, but I do want to move to live because I think it's easier. And I
It is.
Yeah, and I always think a relative. So if I would really sit down and it would be that $800 bet, but in the end it would be like a half pot bet or like a third pot bet, like it would not scare me off because at that point I stop thinking about like the actual money. I think about how much percent of the pot is it, what is my equity,
Right.
who's that
As you move
guy?
to live, you're going to have to be way more aware of absolute sizing for the game. In a 2-5 game, an $800, even if you're super deep, an $800 bet is a massive bet. That a lot of times that's somebody making that with the stone nuts.
Yeah, yeah,
And
okay. I mean, I need to be aware that others are not aware.
yes, you should still be thinking about relative to size on all your defensive decisions, but realize that they may be thinking in absolute size in your offensive decisions.
And it's just one extra thing to pay attention to live. Is it a studied player who is betting relative sizings? And you'll pick that up fairly quick as you're tracking the pot. And and I would say a good practice for you adjusting to live, and this helped me a ton early on, is I took a little tiny post-it note and put it over the size of the pot on my monitor online and would practice counting pots.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I like that. I like
Because
that.
it's something you want to be just in your subconscious. You always know exactly how much is in that pot because obviously live it doesn't tell you and you can't ask.
Right. And then I'll tell you the note. We have a lovely note coming up about how much is in the pot. All right. So he goes 30, and I've decided that I am way ahead or way behind. And so that's why I call.
Like it.
Now there is a flush draw out there, and I may lose my hand to a flush, but he's already, the flush draw's already been charged. I'm not going to be the one to try to charge the flush draw more when I'm behind. The raise is also to 30. So I'm not folding. I'm not folding a
I
straight.
don't hate the call here because you can trap Frenchie and big blind in if it peels clean.
Yeah.
Then that you're golden against them.
Yeah.
And you really only are worrying about one player. Try and play a massive multi-way pot.
Mhm.
that if it peels a heart and there's significant, you check if there's significant action, you know you're cooked and get
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
there, dummy.
Exactly. Yep. And on one street. So I call. Surprisingly, this guy calls. Right. That's kind of a surprise. But okay. King Jack, King Queen, King 10.
Frenchie's gonna do something fun, isn't he?
Yeah, Frenchie goes to 85.
Nice.
Again, and the sizing is almost silly.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Right. Now, here's where it's important. This guy raises again. We are out with a straight. I'm folding. I'm folding to his re-raise. His call, I'm not comfortable with, but he tank calls.
Like a Hollywood tank call, or you can tell he's
I
in
don't
thought.
think it's Hollywood. I do not think it's Hollywood.
Okay.
I feel it. I feel he is genuinely unhappy and uncomfortable. He tank calls. When he tank calls, I'm going to lose $55 more. The only hand that Frenchie has that beats me, that makes a lot of sense to me. Actually, two. There are two hands that he has that make a lot of sense to me. King 9 of hearts,
Yeah.
Ace King of hearts. Otherwise, I don't see this call of 10 with a straight not raising
Yeah.
with the heart draw, making it easy for people to come in with a heart draw. And then betting a size that makes it easy for people to call a heart draw.
Yeah.
So those
That's a really tough spot.
yeah, those are the two combos that
Um,
beat me that make sense to me.
now we know, like we've already discussed, Frenchie's capable of making this move with
Yes.
Queen 10, Queen
Yes, he is.
X.
Right.
So
That's why this is that's why once this guy tank calls, this becomes an easy call for me.
did you ever think about raising at this point?
I'm not raising against this guy's possible king 9 that he doesn't know, that he's not feeling great against the possible ace king. I don't know how deep he's doing a read on him. He had a hand that he thought was a raising hand. I thought I was way ahead, way behind him, not Frenchie. That hasn't changed to me, except that I don't think it's ace king. Paul.
Sense.
Yeah. Paul, what the fuck is happening?
Very obvious heart draw.
Okay, heart draw. Great. All right.
Very obvious heart draw.
Yeah.
The triple call.
Yes. Now, one thing, all this makes sense, but let's look at my note here. I don't know the suits. I would have remembered if it was diamond, diamond. So I'm not positive that the heart draw came here or if it was on the flop. I'm not even positive that there's a heart draw on there. I expect there is because that makes more sense in the game. So we're playing the hand as seen. I'm telling the actual live hand. I'm not even positive there was a heart draw on there. I didn't have it in my notes. All right. So there we go. 4. I think that's a brick.
In the deck for you. Actually, maybe the worst. Let's see how it plays out.
All right. So this is great. Check, check. Frenchie goes 300. Young guy. Now he really tanks.
Asian players are always either maniacs or super nits. There is no in between with them.
Yeah. So he has not demonstrated himself to be a top player at the table. He has not distinguished himself to be a terrible, to be the worst player. He has open limped like everybody else at this table, so there. He tanks, he tanks, he tanks. He folds. I insta call. Now I insta call.
Yeah.
I
Just one question.
I could raise, but I do not know that at this moment. My stack, by the way, is the wrong size here. I've got 1,000
Okay.
because I had already doubled up against him. So these are just off 500 random. So if he has 110 left, really, I could think about raising the last 110 because who cares? It's only 110. But he might have had more behind than this. I don't know for sure. So,
Sus.
but my hand is, again, this is, you know.
Okay,
most
so we
people
don't know if there was a flush draw. We don't know what the actual stack sizes are. We're just kind of going on a wing and a prayer here.
Oh, we're playing the hand as here, but these are these are the notes that I had,
Yes.
you know.
And so this would be a spot, Melanie, where we're talking about absolutes, where we're looking at absolute sizing.
Exactly. And so if we would really play it the way that it's put here in the screen, then if indeed the Frenchman only has 110 left, we could indeed consider going all in, making sure that he puts in the rest of his chips. Because
Sure.
then it doesn't seem like a lot to him anymore. Like he's
Yeah.
already put in 300. What are another 100?
Right. Then again, in a situation where you're way ahead or way behind, do I want to put in another 110? I don't know.
The call here. I feel like I like your assessment of especially the back raise on the turn. It's almost all it almost always smells like a nutted hand and oh okay shit we got action now let me build a massive pot which this with the sizing kind of messes with my head when we go back to the turn like
But this is what it was, and he thought he was playing for value. He thought I don't think this Queen 10 was a bluff. I think he
no,
thought he was playing
he
for
thought
value.
he had the best hand.
He thought he had the best hand. Yeah.
Well, especially with you double call. I mean, opening and then double calling the
Yeah.
turn.
Yep.
I think
That's
because
almost never. I mean, that's never going to be ace king or king nine from your end.
Yep.
Whether
also,
he's aware of that or not is a whole different story.
Yeah.
and I also thought that like if your assessment or if you can't remember the board correctly and it wasn't two hearts, then that hand makes a lot of sense because I thought if indeed everybody called, then there must have been a couple of two pairs around
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise you would not call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing here is that this is also teaching me is that I need to be paying a little more attention, to these. So when I recorded, I should have known that. And
I mean, it's interesting to discuss both scenarios, right? What if
Yeah.
the board suited and what if it isn't? So
Yep. So here we are. We don't even have a hand in this hand to just see what happens. So
So
this is not
just
French.
an interesting hand.
This is not us. So this is Frenchie. I mean, this is not Frenchie. This is a guy who's been straddling. We've seen him open to 15 and we've seen him open to 20. And all of a sudden, for the first time ever, he opens to 30. We're here. Our hand is irrelevant. We were folding to a normal size, but we're definitely folding to 30. But we really want to see what is his 30 range because this is and then this guy cold calls the 30. So he has not noticed this. And in a sense, he should be even more three better fold to this bigger size. He should be more polar to this, I think. So he calls. All right. And they go heads up. All right. Flop is 2, 3, 4. Check, check. There's a 5. So all the aces get there like this. He checks. So now his hand makes no sense at all. Because we were thinking ace king that he likes to bet is ace king extra big because he doesn't, because what if you miss the flop? It's hard to play. Jack, jack, because everybody does this with jack, jack. But jack, jack bets the flop and ace king has a straight here. So now we really want to see the showdown. What the hell does this guy have? Check, check. River is a jack. All right, so check. What the fuck is going on with this hand?
Right. This is weird.
Check behind. Both hands get shown. Queen 5 suited against the biggest size, and ace played this way. And then these are the notes. What the fuck is happening?
Seat a lot of money on this table.
Yes, seat 3, the Asian woman in an Adidas hat seems to be the second best player, and she's still limping sometimes. I feel like I'm the best by a significant margin. This might be a very dangerous belief. I guess this is why I moved.
You left that table?
No, this is why I moved to this table.
Oh,
Remember, I said, why am I moving away from the other table? I
yeah.
guess this is why. Because this is for more money and the play is still like this.
Seems like they knew each other and knew the deal. So these are like the regs in this game.
Could be. Maybe they have a check down agreement between them, but it didn't feel like that. Because when people have a check down agreement, they look at each other and they just go check, 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 like that.
It's like you look at the first check as you're looking at them to say like, hey, let's.
There's some people who you will play with in live, and I believe that this is should be against the rules. But they have an agreement that when they are heads up, they have no action between each other, no matter what their hands are. They always check down to the river whenever they are heads up.
I do think it should be against the
It's
rules.
against the rule.
It's kind of collusion-y, but
Yeah. And they're not hiding it, you know. It's like we have no action against each other. And one of the things is that would give them a reason to bet you out of the pot to get it heads up, which is the collusion factor. But the people who I've seen who had that in the casino that I played with, I saw it much more in the limit game than the no limit game.
yeah.
They didn't leverage it. So I didn't see them taking marginal hands that they would raise each other to get it heads up to get you out of your hand. And so I went, all right, fine. I think that this is not okay, but I'm not going to be the stickler for the rules because I'm making a profit here.
They're
So
also not squeezing other players' money into the pot before they do it. So
yeah, it's like I wasn't seeing it. I thought it was scummy. I thought it was a mistake and I wasn't going to bring it up. These guys, I did not get the vibe at all because when people have it, it's really obvious. They do it really fast. It's like, they almost say to the dealer, we're checking it down. They're
just
just
run
not,
it out.
yeah, run it out, run it out. So this was just weird. And it's like, okay, this is why I moved. And I'm definitely getting the feeling here that I am, as I said, I'm getting the feeling I'm the best player. And we're trying to get models of the other players in our heads, right? So we want to know who's better than and how many of them are better than you, and do you belong at the table? And I am 100% confident that I belong at this table. My analysis of each player might be a little off. There might be somebody who's better than I think they are. There might be somebody who's I just haven't noticed who's playing really well or just hasn't gotten cards. There are other things going on, but I belong at this table. That's easy.
Yeah.
The thing that started to happen was this. So I'm here. I'm not going to play, no matter what, I'm not going to play all night. No matter how good the table is, I'm leaving at midnight at the latest, probably 11, because I've got setup day the next. Because
You're old.
well, no, no, I'll play all night. I'll play all night when I'm playing poker because I'm here to do a show, and I had stuff the next day, so I was not going to stay up all night and then go in because my priority is my gig that's here, not playing poker.
Just say, Scotty, it's because
Yeah.
you're old.
I am old, but I am old. But I'm old, but I have an iron ass. But the thing that I found was this. The play was bad, and I'm trying to sort of analyze exactly, what kind of bad it is. And at a certain point, I stopped thinking. And I just went, you guys are just making lots of mistakes. And I'm not even paying attention enough to characterize the mistakes anymore. They're just mistakes. You're just, there's just enough money here from your limp mistakes and the fact that you're not raising hands that I should be losing more money mistakes.
Right.
And so I didn't pay as much attention to the hands I wasn't in. At this point, I make that note. I start and I look at my watch going, all right, how much longer do I have here? Okay, I got another hour. All right, I'm gonna play another hour. I was literally bored, and that's very unusual. If I knew that I was going to be playing there all night, I probably wouldn't have gotten bored. I probably would have said, okay, let's play lots of attention. But I went kind of like, I have enough information for the last hour, and that's not good. And I definitely wasn't tired because this is only 3 hours in, and 3 hours is nothing for me. So that was the thing I was aware of, and I made a note of it for myself. That was my mental game problem. All right.
Right. So, question on your note-taking process,
Yep.
Scotty.
Yep.
More just, do you still use because I've been heavily considering actually converting back to just an actual flip pad and a pen.
I think that's a great idea. I do it on
I
my,
feel like it would be, and then I can always put my hands into fast roll after. I just feel like I'm so much faster handwriting stuff and with shorthand, and that probably comes from, I waited tables and bartended for a long time. So like
yeah.
I'm really, really quick note taking and shorthanding stuff.
Mhm.
And then looking based on my notes, remembering, like instead of having to write out every single detail.
Yep.
Like, because currently I'm using Fast Roll Poker, and from what I gather, it's one of the fastest note taking apps, and I still feel like it's slow.
Yeah. So here's the one reason not to. So all the reasons you said are the reasons to do it on paper. Here's the 2 reasons not to do it on paper, and then just balance these out. When you do it on paper, it's obvious to the table that's what you're doing. When you do it on your phone, you might just be playing with your phone. And the other thing is when you do it on paper, you cannot hide what your hand was. If you're writing down your hand, the person sitting next to you, if they care, you're just telling them what your hand was because they can see it on the paper. You can't hide the paper easily. Whereas your phone, you can. So those are the reasons to do it. Those are the reasons not to do it. I've considered doing it on paper. I'm getting better at the phone. So the reason I don't have the suits here is not because I didn't have time to put them on the phone. It's that by the time I took the note, enough had gone by. I either played the next hand or I just didn't remember the board clearly enough. And that's just my job. I need to remember the boards clearer. All right, moving on. 2 limps to an ace king, easy squeeze. What size?
Squeezy lemon peasy.
What size you want to squeeze to Melanie? What size you want to squeeze to Larry?
What? Oh, what size was your standard open? 20?
My standard open was 15 at this table.
15? Okay.
15. Mel, what size you want to squeeze to?
Um, 30.
Okay, I like it. Larry, what size you want to squeeze to? Larry's not on. Okay, moving on.
So mine.
What size?
Oh,
What size you want to squeeze to?
I don't. Oh, you weren't even going to ask me. Damn, Scotty.
I was going to ask you if Larry answered, but I want 2 answers. Where are you going to go to, Andy? I know your squeeze size.
Normal open, like a 1-2 is 1.5 for the first limper, and then one more for each. But obviously, because we can't do halves here, I'd probably do 2 for the first limper. So 15, 20, 25, 30.
All right, great.
It would be 25 or 30. Oh, 35. I
Those are
dig
good.
it.
Yeah. Let me see if I think 25 is too small. 20, I think 25 is oh, no, I don't. 15, 20, 25 plus the 2. Yeah, 25 is fine. Anything there.
And I would probably I would use the 25 in a table where generally you're not getting a ton of limp calling.
Yeah.
To where I know I might get one caller, but
Yeah.
I'm happy taking down the 17. I'd go up to 30 at a table where, I don't want the waterfall effect.
Yeah.
I only want ideally one caller.
Yep.
I don't hate the 35 either.
Nope, that's all fine. Give me 1 second. I gotta check this. Hello, I'm awake for our 11 o'clock call. Okay, all right. But I'm gonna do my class up till then, so I'll tell you later. Okay, is that okay? Okay, bye. All right, there we go. All right, so yeah, so I go 35, get a surprised call. This is our queen 5 suited caller.
So you're already kind of licking your lips a little bit. Super passive. I'm gonna see a flop.
Yeah. And then these guys fold. So ace king out of position. We flop an ace and 2 3s. I think you know what the turn's going to be. I can check this because I'm out of position. I can bet. I'm way ahead. Every so often I'm way behind, but almost, it's hard to have a 3 here. This is the guy who could have a 3, but
yeah, he can definitely have a 3.
can have one.
And
Unlikely.
he's never going to bet it for you. We've already seen that.
Right. So his range, his range consists of folds, pocket pairs, and aces. So I'm going to size my first bet for an 8 for a pocket pair. Let's get a call by a pocket pair.
Yep. I like it.
And then
So what'd you go like?
And then I'm going to size my
25?
second or third best for an ace. 25, exactly. Let's get a pocket pair to call. He calls. Great. So he has aces here and he has pocket pairs. Right? We were beating all his aces. Now we're chopping against all his aces. So now
we're folding a full house with his pocket pairs.
Right. So now I'm thinking, all right, let's size again for a pocket pair.
We're already at max rake, so we're not feeding rake by building a big pot at this point.
Nope. Max rake is $6. Yep. So I size for a pocket pair. Pocket pair can't fold to 25.
But sorry, 25 into a pot of 116?
I know it's
And
insane. I know. I'm thinking it's like I probably can go bigger here against a pocket pair, but that was just my thought was it's like against it, there's no reason to put money in or not at money against an ace. Doesn't matter. And
We want to force out a fold from another pocket pair.
yeah,
Again, this is kind of one of those live things, Melanie, where
I think this is a
um,
mistake, by the way, Melanie. I think this is a mistake.
I think you could have gone. I was gonna say, um, what was the pot before? I was gonna say 50, 45 or 50 would be a good size.
I think so too. Now, there is someone's Zebo's theorem or whoever it is, which is people don't, it's not really a theorem, but we call it that to be cute, which is people don't fold full houses. So now that he's full, his hand is its absolute strength is stronger, but its relative strength is still the same against an ace, but people don't fold full houses.
Is his
So that's the
but-
reason.
accurate?
But so is
so
that maybe an argument to bet 75% of the pot?
Yeah, or bigger. At least it's an argument to make a bigger to not do this 25. Okay. Absolutely.
So
Here was my feeling in game, and I think it's wrong. But this was my feeling. And I make two mistakes in this hand on this feeling. My feeling is if I go 25, which is at this point, I'm sorry, yeah, 35. So my 25 is, uh 2/5 is just under a third pot. So more than a quarter, less than a third. So that's 2/5. Yes. So like that.
flop sizing.
Yeah. So something like that. So I'm there. So I go just under a third and he calls with that. If I push this up, his feeling will be that I'm slowly ratcheting it up and he'll expect a big bet on the river. So if I go like from now, I go to 100, he's only got 190 left. So if I shape the pot easily with, with 45, 50, basically if I go 2E, he may now with his pocket pair go, oh, I don't have to just call this. This is being shaped to push me out. I mean, not to push me out. It's being shaped to get me all in. So
I mean, let's be fair. The guy calling a six
I was
big
wrong.
blind open with queen five suited next to act isn't thinking about
No.
how you're shaping a pot. He's thinking
Absolutely.
about his hand and his hand only.
Absolutely. That's why it was wrong. That's what was wrong. I think I should have I don't know that I should have gone 100 here like this, but I should have.
I would have liked like $60.
Absolutely.
So
50,
there's
60.
131 in the pot, so 61. Another side note, Melanie, when I say 131, when you convert to live, always pay attention to as you convert to the rake and
Yeah.
what the pot is. If the pot's at 5% up to $6, once you hit 120, you're at max rake. You always want to be calculating that into your pot.
Yeah. Yeah. And you'll see, and live, you'll see it because they will physically take the rake out and put it at the side. So you'll be able to see it visibly. All right. So I think that this should have been 45, 50, 60 against this guy with this short stack there. And he started with a short stack. So I think that would have been the better play.
I agree. I think 60 probably would have been. I don't hate the 25, but
not great.
again, now it's a bigger absolute bet size on the
Right.
river.
Now, the one thing though that is true though with this shape is I now have an easy less than pot size bet on the river. So this pot is still shaped for a jam. Okay, here we go. So Jack comes on the river. Jack is one of his pocket pairs.
Yes.
And the thing that I did weird here was,
If he's got a jack, so be it, right?
yeah, but also
If he's got pocket jacks, I mean,
if he's got pocket jacks, so be it. Yeah, so now I jam. And the weird thing to me here is I'm still chopping with an ace, so who cares? Why am I making it now hard? I mean, is the pocket pair going to call the river here? I guess maybe if he's got pocket nines, that they don't fold, a full house theorem comes in and this is good play. I don't know, but it's just so weird that I do my sizing here. So he calls. We chop the pot. He has ace jack. I got screwed by the 3 on the turn, and then I got saved by the 3 on the river.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's that guy. And so my notes here were, I didn't put notes. I just know that when I played it, that I was playing the hand badly. That when the 3 came, my second size bet didn't make sense. And then if you take the logic of my bet here, then my river bet doesn't make sense. All of a sudden, the river is big, but I guess it's not as terrible because it's still less than pot. So maybe he calls with pocket nines there.
Yeah.
Yep. And if
Do
he had
you
jab,
do you subscribe to Bart Hansen's theory of what does he call it? Pot spiking?
I don't. I think you should. I don't.
Okay.
I don't. And
I've
by
been
that,
I've
by
been
that I
using
mean I
it a
don't.
lot more
I don't pay
recently.
attention to it.
Because there's also the other side of it. Jonathan Little talks a little bit about the other side of the pot spiking is, and I guess it depends at what game, what stakes, but like in 1-2, 1-3, a lot of times there's not a ton of big denominations on the table.
Yeah.
A lot of people tend to, when they're betting the big denominations, it's a big hand.
Yeah.
It's like even a $200 pot, somebody bets 100, but they put a one black chip out. I find it to be a really polarized bet.
Okay.
Where it's either big scary black chip, like it's either a bluff or the nuts.
Yeah.
But just a side note, I like pot spiking. I do think it does make sense. Instead of counting a massive pile of reds, to count 2 blacks is a lot easier.
Yeah. Make it. If you want them to know the size of the pot, that's it. That's a better way to do it. Our note on this next hand is anti-hero. This is not going to go well. So he puts on the straddle. He's been straddling regularly. Ace 3 in low jack -1 is an open. We open it and we open it to 30. This is our queen 5 suited ace jack offsuit guy.
Okay.
He calls.
I dig it.
Right. Folds around. It's us. Not bad.
We don't love it, but we don't hate it.
We don't love it. We don't hate it. So we don't do the against him. We didn't choose to do the checking of this one. When you are making your choice, when you're structuring your range for which ace high flush draws you want to check here, you would check the ones with 2 big diamonds more often than you would do the top and bottom, because this makes it more
Like
possible.
ace, queen, ace 10 of diamonds. We want to,
Ace 10, you're blocking him from having more diamond continues. So
and you're blocking queen jack. You're blocking jack 10.
Yeah. So this time I did check it. It checks behind. All right, great. We get a 3. Well, that's good for every reason. And I decide to bet with my flush draw and the fact that,
He checked, so he probably doesn't have much.
yeah, but I do it and I did it to protect when he has absolutely nothing that he's going to fold, but it has draws to the 3. Like let's say he has 8, 9 of clubs here. It's like,
Right.
So I bet small. I bet 30. You could argue that this is very wrong because at least here, because now I'm marginally made, and so I should just check behind. I should just check. That's a fine
I
argument.
don't hate the bet.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Don't love it. It's whatever. The next thing is the thing. So he calls the 30. I've got the 2. Now he's got something. He's got a pair, right?
I mean, he's got a king at best. He doesn't have a jack. We know
He doesn't have a
that. There's
jack. He has a
no
king.
way a jack checks flop flats turn.
No. He has a king or an underpair. What does it take to get an underpair? How big do I have to bet to get an underpair to fold here? And should I try? He's got 100 left. There's 130 in the pot. Can I get an underpair? So what is your size? And everybody tell me, what's your size to try to get an underpair to fold? Let's just start with that.
So this actually came up in a live game last week. And it got me thinking, right? Like how often do we see that live players not only don't know how much is in the pot, but they don't know exactly how much they have? What do his stacks look like? Are they, neat 100 stacks on the red, $100 stacks
Now,
on the reds? Or is
I
it
don't-
just kind of all over the place willy-nilly? Like he doesn't know how much money he has.
I wouldn't be surprised that he doesn't know exactly how much money he has.
Because so this came up and it actually ties into this, right? It came up in a hand. I flopped the nuts. I bet about a half pot bet. Dude check raised me. So mind you, the nuts, I have king, queen, flop comes 9, 10, jack, rainbow. The super nuts, right?
Yeah.
Pot was, I think 20. I yo'd it and he raised me to 33. So he, by the way, yo is my favorite bet in poker and small stakes. I love throwing it out there. But side note, make a little bit of fun. He raised me to 33.
Yo was a bet of 11, right?
Yes, a bet of 11.
Thank you.
Craps player.
Yep.
He raised me to 33, and I'm looking, I can see he has about 80 back. I think, do I want to get it all in, or when I call here after rake and everything, the pot is going to be $82. So he has a pot size bet left.
Right.
So I decide to flat. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to protect. He does, showing that he has a strong hand because he's check raising. So we get a turn that I really like is the 8, an offsuit 8. So now board's 4 suited with a 4-liner to the queen, and I have king queen. I have king queen. So I'm all the way to the king.
Right.
He checks.
You have the straight, but you don't have the flush though, right?
No, there's no flush. It's board's rainbow.
4-liner. I thought it was 4 suit. Okay, 4-liner, and you go one, and you have the king. Yeah, you've got the nuts.
And I have about 500 back. I say all in because I'm putting him all in, right? He has about a pot size bet.
And he's hears the all in and thinks, oh my God, your hand is so good because you went all in, not realizing you were only betting.
And he tanks for a while and folds. He's like, why'd you bet so much?
Right.
I said, it was only a pot size bet. And he goes, you went all in. I said, it was only a pot size bet though. I said, you only have $80 in the pot. It was a pot size bet. And it wasn't computing to him that I was putting him all in and that he only had one pot size bet. In his mind, no matter how much that was discussed, my bet was $500.
Yes. Yeah.
And why I bring that up is because, side note, this guy might not have any idea that one, he has $130, and two, that is a pot size bet.
Yes.
So when you're saying, you obviously the max you can bet is 130,
but I can put in
by actually saying a bigger physically number.
Yes.
That what it is, he might not. You bet 500 here, he might say, oh shit, he's got king jack, or he's got a jack, and just fold everything.
Yep. And in the same way, if you don't want him to, you make sure that you bet you look at his, you bet 130,
yes.
Or you go, I'll put you all in.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of like that hand the other day got me thinking of that concept that, in online or against good trained players saying all in, they just know, okay, I have a pot size bet. He's just betting the pot. He's making sure that, all my money is going in, not, oh shit, he has, he bet $500.
Yep. So I'm going to move forward because I'm going to have to take a call in 15 minutes. So we got through the last two of them, but yeah, absolutely. So here, do we think a pocket pair will fold to a jam? I think it might.
I think so.
Do we think a king will fold to a jam? Probably not. Right. Is it worth jamming?
I don't think many pocket pairs, the way this hand played out, are going to fold to much less than a jam.
Right. So if we bet, we're going to jam.
Yeah.
If we check, we're going to beat other diamond draws that he's probably not turning into a bluff, given his passive nature. So we could check and sometimes win. But we lose against a king, and a king is probably not folding. And a king didn't bet the flop. So that kind of takes some kings out of his range. So we go for the jam. He calls us with king six. And I am being generous by making this suited. I don't know. I actually think it was offsuit, but I'm not sure. All right. So
You look at him and say, wow, nice hand.
yep. So I bet 130 like a dog. And my note is, I guess I'm not so much better than everybody else at this table. Then Larry, you will love this next note. So the next dealer is standing next to me. And he's waiting to sit down. And I ask him, because remember, there's a 5-5 double board PLO bomb pot game that's played.
Yeah.
And I ask him, I say, is that what's the buy-in limit on that? Because the buy-in limit on this one is $5, is 500. And I'm not planning on moving. I just want to know is that the big game? Is that the game where the buy-in is 1,000 or something? And that these are and that's why these games are like this, or what is it? And don't remember what his answer was, but he decides to talk a tiny bit about that game, saying, yeah, that's the double board. They do this a lot. And he says that, and he whispers this in my ear, which I thought you'd love. He says, he says the dealers hate playing. He says the dealers hate dealing that game.
I think I heard dealers like it because on split pots they get 2 tips, but yeah.
This was he said. He said, for a $1 tip, you tell me how much is in the pot. You constantly got to calculate the pot because people say pot, and then he's got to do the calculation.
You're also allowed to ask how much is in the pot in that game because and that's not something you ask in
yeah.
You're not allowed to ask all of them.
Yeah. So
just one question about this last hand that we've just done.
Which I don't think I played well. Yes, go on, Melanie.
So I think what it shows is that the villain is very much aware of the fact that he has a kicker problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why he played it so passively.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe that makes him not such a bad player after all.
Okay. Good point. Good point. Except that he's in a hand with a kicker problem. He's in an inflated hand with a kicker problem.
Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't have been in the hand to start with, but he realized he's in danger once he saw the flop.
Right. So he's not an automatic robot there.
He's not completely,
Very good point. Very good point.
So I would say yes, sort of. But also we've seen him play a few hands, and every single one of them he's played passively.
Yeah, he's played passive, and he's also been in hands, with hands he shouldn't. The ace jack he shouldn't have been in, but I don't blame him for that. But the king five, the queen five was just no sense at all. And this king six shouldn't be calling a raise there. Okay, so we've seen
I love suited kings on the button.
Yeah, we've seen our French friend open limp an ace three suited, and we've seen him open limp a queen 10 offsuit. So that's our little note. We're trying to arrange
Frenchie
him
again.
Nope, this hand is not against Frenchie. But it's just what that happened, and so I made the note of it. So it's like,
okay,
I'm still doing some work at the table of paying attention to people, but it's waning. We get a new player. She is an older woman, not super old. She's like my age. And fuck you that when you say you're super old. She's got some jewelry on.
Only thought it, Scotty. I didn't say it.
Yes. She's got some jewelry on. She doesn't look happy or comfortable. Like she doesn't walk to the table like all her friends are there. She sits down. In this game, you do not need to post to get a hand. When you sit down, you get a hand immediately. Sit down, or you can wait for the button to pass. She's like here when she sits down and takes her free hand. So she doesn't wait for the button to pass to get her full set of free hands. So $5 means nothing to her, and she's not there to play poker. She's not there to count big blinds. And then on like the next hand or a soon hand after that, she open limps. So we've immediately categorized her. We're done. It's like a new player comes to the table. Oh, do we have to pay attention to this player? Is this player good? Probably not. By, just by her look, probably not. By her first action, no. By her second action, definitely not. All right, we're done. We've categorized her, and then she's now going to have to prove us wrong. So that happened.
Okay.
So she limps. There's her limp. There's another limp. We have pocket deuces. What should we do with pocket deuces?
Bet mine.
No, what should we do first, Larry? Before set mining.
Look to our left.
Look to our left. Damn right. We look to our left. And we see calling chips in someone's hand. Already with calling chips in their hand.
So I think that makes our twos more
All
villain.
in. Punish the limpers.
We call and we get to see a flop. Now, no matter what this flop is, we have gained equity because we got to see it.
Yeah, that's valid.
We're done. We're done with the hand. This is easy. Check, 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 check.
We have a one-outer to win the hand at this point.
Yeah, we're done. We're done with the hand. If it goes check around to us on a weird blank card, are we going to try to bet and maybe get a queen or an 8 to fold? We're not thinking that far ahead, but maybe that's what's going to happen. An 8 comes. Check, 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 check. Now,
Barreling that 8.
we could barrel the 8 because remember, now an ace and a queen kill our hand. We might have the best hand now. We don't think there's an ace out there. There could be a queen.
There's definitely not an 8 at this point out there.
There's not an 8.
Except in your hand, you're going to make them believe.
Yeah. So I can have an 8 here. I can do that. And my decision is there is so much easier money at this table than this hand.
Yeah, that's valid.
My hand is marginally made. Yes, it's marginally made and it's vulnerable against 4 players. You can bluff. You're allowed to bluff in multi-way pots. That's a thing. This hand has a reason to do it. But
What about
spot?
But
what about betting here? What about betting, say, 15? And then if you get a caller, maybe you take a second bullet, or if you get 2 callers, you just check it back.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. I
Only
like that.
players we really have to think may still have an 8 in their range is the small blind and big blind. With as many players behind them, they might be the ones to say, ooh, I turned trips. Let me go for a check raise here.
They might.
As
And if
far
the
as
check
the
raiser
rest,
Yeah.
the closer it gets to you, the less likely it is somebody has an 8 because they're just going to bet it themselves.
Yeah. And the only reason I considered turning the 2s into a bluff here was because of the 8. If it had been a 3, I was not going to do it. But now it's like they have outs they shouldn't. Their 6-7 hand has outs if the ace falls. Anyway, I didn't do it. Anybody here think so I completely agree that the bluff is viable and I thought about it. Anybody think that not bluffing is also viable, that this is reasonable? Or am I just playing like
I don't hate it either way. You gained an extra out because now you don't have to worry about 2 of spades.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't have to worry at all. All right. Great. So this is nice. We are probably not getting called by anybody, but so as I'm thinking about bet sizing, this happens.
Now,
Now-
what could these guys be betting?
So now it's a different bet size question.
On the
I think this is a clear. This feels like a queen or a queen, maybe.
Maybe this guy's got a queen.
the caller never has an 8. And that's the rich lady that led the 10, right? She
Yeah.
could still have an 8 here,
She could.
limped in with a 7-8, 8-9,
Mhm.
and with 2 players behind her on that board, was going for a check raise. It didn't get bet. So now, I think I'm targeting an 8 for sure with my bet sizing.
Right. So
I just don't think an ace is ever out there. I think a queen is highly unlikely. My thought is I want to target an 8 and fire like 70 or 80 because an 8 is just never folding and might even make the mistake of re-raising,
Okay.
of bet 3-bet.
So I'm going to give Andy 75 as the average of 70 and 80. Andy is 75. And Melanie, what size? We're always raising here, right? We're never going, oh, there's a full house out there. We're always raising.
Yeah, this is
Every
clearly a
single time.
raise.
Okay, good. I would not be surprised to see this guy with a queen. A queen makes sense here. Checks it there. He's going to bet the turn, and then this turn makes it worse. And now she bets out. He can't fold, but he can't raise. So this could easily be a queen. All
I
right.
mean, I like going absolutely massive here and
Okay.
praying that
That she has
somebody makes the mistake of going bet 3-bet with an 8.
Okay. Larry is not Larry's folding to a re-raise there, by the way. He's going 60 and folding to a re-raise. Melanie, what's your sizing
You
here?
become such a nit, Larry.
Look at him.
Become.
Initially, I also thought 60 because like it's 45, 55, 65.
Yeah.
The pot, so you could do that. But are they going to call another 50? And so maybe we should go for maybe 50.
Maybe
Maybe.
50, Melanie? Did you say maybe 50? Maybe
Yeah.
50? All right.
Oh.
So I
Yeah.
go 50. And fold.
Oh,
Yeah, but I was thinking, but it was thinking about the size here.
yeah, exactly.
Fold. Dealer says to me, you bought the pot. He says, you bought the pot. I said, wasn't trying to buy it.
Well, this
Yeah.
does make the argument that this is a good exploitative raise here.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right. I mean, so now let's talk about what bluffs we could have here, right? This is obviously a spot that where we could bluff. Right, is bluffing here
I'm not bluffing here.
is bluffing here suicide?
I'm not bluffing here just because I'm not bluffing into two. I'm just not bluffing into two players.
Yeah, exactly.
I
That's
mean,
what I'm getting.
yeah.
But we see that it's viable, right?
It is viable. It is viable against these hands this time.
So I think we want a blocker to the. So
Yeah.
this is a limp pot. It's hard to have blockers to anything in a limp pot because ranges are so wide.
Yeah. I just, I look at this with this one. The way I look at this hand is this is massively multi-way. And so I'm going to play my hand face up. I'm going to play very straight.
Yeah. Well, I
Check.
mean, whenever I see this and I see folds,
Yeah.
the first question I have to ask myself is, well, what should our bluffs be here then? If we're
Right.
generating folds. But you're right, this is massively multi-way. It doesn't necessarily make sense.
Yeah. If you
This
had
is a spot where I'm never thinking about what are my bluffs here? What does my range look like? I'm thinking, what hand do I have? What hands do they most likely have? If I'm betting 50, anybody who's calling 50 has an 8. You might get an ace to call, but there's never an ace out there at this point. So you're
Well,
I'm
do either of their
targeting-
sizes? That's my point. Is that the sizing doesn't really. It's not indicative of 8x. And when we see this sizing, there should be an opportunity at some point to find bluffs here to fold out these tiny bets.
Yeah, you could certainly, so exploitatively, Larry, you could say this bet here is never an 8 for 10. This call is never an 8. So therefore they are capped at a queen and a couple of bad aces.
Yeah, but this is a 5-way pot.
Yeah.
Suicide. This might not be intelligent.
So you could go with
find
that
bluffs here.
and say, therefore I can bluff everything. In the same way as Hungry Horse sometimes says, let's get the guy to fold a set here by representing the full house. I mean, he has done that. And he's definitely said, let's get him to fold his aces here. I am not yet going to the table with a strong part of my strategy to get people to fold straights when the flush comes on and over pairs.
Yeah, that's class.
There's so much more money. There's not more money. That's not fair. There's so much easier money. Now, if you want to play poker to make the max amount of money, We've got a 5-day boot camp for you where we'll teach you all the sauce. And I'm not in that hurry yet.
Yeah, that's fair. It just whenever I am in a spot like this and
Yeah.
I do generate folds,
Yeah.
I want to ask myself, okay, so if my premier hand got folds here, fine, but then maybe I should have bluffs here too.
Yeah, you're right. And that should be my next set of thinking. And I should also be paying attention if I'm playing at this table all the time and I start to know these players. On a one night, that'll be the time to do this less.
Yeah, it's very player dependent. You're right.
Very player dependent, and I don't have enough data because again, all I know is these people are making mistakes right and left. But remember the mistakes we saw at this table. Remember the king mistake at this table and the ace king queen at this table. Against these guys, do not fucking do that.
Yeah.
Because these guys are either slow playing everything because they think it's cute, or they're scared, but they're not folding it. He didn't fold his queens.
Hmm.
He didn't fold his ace king to, saying, oh, we guys got to have better than that. So I would be reluctant to do that for a little while. Okay, so I'm gonna go now, hang up on you guys, and I'm gonna come back if you guys are still here. I'll come back. Those are all the hands, and I'll tell you the last of the story. It's very short, but I got to go do my other call. So Larry, you're the host.
How long are you to be gone?
Half an hour.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll last. I have one more question. What about tomorrow? What's your plan for tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'll open the room and can't work. Got
Okay.
shows.
Got it.
Okay, bye. Or maybe we're done. Whatever you guys decide. See
All
ya.
right. We'll decide.
Cheers, Scotty.
Thank you, Scotty.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yep. Remember, you don't have to play well. You just have to play better than them. I don't have to outrun you. I just have to outrun the bear. But I would prefer I would prefer to be good enough to outrun the bear. All right. Bye.
It always sucks when the rabbit's got the gun.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let me.
All right, guys. What do you want to do? You want to call it, or do you want to go over a couple more hands?
Anybody have hands? I can probably rustle some up real quick.
I have one live hand.
I'll just
I
go.
have-
I'll just go cook dinner, but I might join later, or maybe not. I don't know yet. But it's already evening.
Okay, Melanie, it's good seeing you as always.
Session. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good evening.
Well, why don't we go over this one hand and then we'll take it from there.
I'll do a quick glance through, see if I have any hands. I got cooked last night, so I probably have some hands. They're
Okay,
not good
so,
ones.
So this is a 9-8 hand live. Straddles on.
You were sun running?
I bought in for 300, so yeah, a little bit. I think so. The straddle's on. This is $5. I could probably go bigger here. I probably should go to 20. At least 15. This is too small.
Yeah, it's tiny. The straddles to 5, I would say 15 or 20. Depends on the game, but either 15 or 20 for
Yeah,
sure.
this is too small. Get 2 callers. Now it gets interesting. Huh.
Ooh.
You like that hand?
Did you hear your heart on bink the side bottom of the table when you hit that flop?
So yeah, this is a little bit of poker Viagra, isn't it? So this is where it gets interesting. This guy checks, then this guy pots it, over pots it.
Wow.
So our SPR is now, let me see, for 40, 73, about 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing here?
So you say you had him tagged as blind rage aggression?
Yep.
Is he just once he starts the barreling process, is he barreling all the way, or is he kind of, I'm gonna make one or two aggressive actions and like if you put in a small raise, is he gonna view that as a threat to his manhood? Like what kind of blind intense aggression are we talking here?
He's definitely good question. He is definitely has aggressive tendencies, and he has multi-barrel, but I haven't seen any showdowns.
Okay. Um, at this point, I mean, obviously we want to play for stacks. But
So an SPR 3, where
if
are
we
we in
have a
that project?
super aggressive, bluffy player, I might flat here and see what happens. And you never know, like small blind might come along for the ride. I know it's really not the right way to think about a hand is let me see how many players I can keep in. But at this point, I also don't want to, if he's the kind of player that's going to be hyper aggressive and then cave to any pushback, I don't want to run him out either. Because if he's betting pot here, we call that puts pot basically 34, 114. Is he going to barrel pot again?
I don't think, yeah, I don't, we've got the absolute, I would argue we've got the impenetrable nuts. The only thing we're worried about is that he is somehow played aces or kings in a very weird way, and an ace or king comes. But we've got about 80% equity, 90% equity, even against overpairs. No, we got 80% against overpairs. So this is I think this is a clear. I don't think we ever need to fast play here.
Against an overpair, we have 92% equity at this point.
Let me see, it's two times four. Yeah, I guess you're right. When I ran it against queens, we had 80% equity. All right, now yeah, okay, whatever. You're right. I think you're right.
We can run
Four times,
through
four times,
Equilab real quick if you want,
four
but
times two. No, four times two. You're right. I wonder why I thought it was eight. Never mind. Oh, I mean, maybe it was like anyway. I think you're right. So, it's 92%. So I don't think we get to, yeah. And then we get the dream spot here. We get this.
nice. And that's one of the reasons to call is keep draws in, I mean, there's
Oh,
no need to raise.
I know why I was thinking 80% because the hand I was running Equilab was against two ranges. And the other range had some equity. You had like 8-10% equity.
Yeah, that would
But you're right, it's 92%. Okay, so yeah, this is a dream spot now. This is four is lovely. Um, check. He now down bets to B50. So if we call, pot is around 310. We have SPR of 1. I don't think we need to raise it.
it'll be 290.
Yeah, that's probably wrong.
We have 310. Yeah, we're close to 1, and that SPR might shrink down depending on what small blind does.
Yeah, so I don't think we ever. I think this is one situation we just never fast play because there's two things
Yeah.
going on. The SPR is pretty low, and we have positional advantage here. We're going to be the last act on river,
Yeah.
so we don't. I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's any reason to fast play. I think having ultimate position multi-way here is a dream, and we just do not need to fast play
With the stone nuts.
with the stone nuts. So we call, and then something very interesting happens here. He makes an illegal bet, and the dealer doesn't say anything for some reason. Maybe he didn't give a fuck. I don't know. He folds, and I'm certainly not saying anything. I don't think I have any reason to say anything about his illegal bet here.
I mean, sure you do, because what if he's bluffing or he's on a draw? You might as well get the extra money in because he can't. Did he announce raise or he just put that out?
He he just put out more chips than what we're a bet by big
Okay, and
blind.
it kind of comes down to what the house rule is on what constitutes a raise action. Like some places are, if you put out 120 to a 70, it's actually technically a call if you don't say anything because you didn't put a full raise amount out. Where some places enforce once it's half of the initial, once it's more than half of a raise, it's a raise. So this is a spot where I would, if I say something, I'm really clear on the fact that the rule is that it is an actual raise. Whereas it could go either way. Although I guess if he already folded, the maniac folded. I would ask for clarification before the maniac has a chance to act. Because if they can force a call, it keeps all of his bluffs in.
Why do I?
See,
Okay, so I don't
does
see.
that make sense?
It does, but so the one difference with dealer just didn't seem to care. Dealer didn't just said that's 120, sir. He didn't seem to. It was a very unusual situation. He didn't seem to, and I didn't really think I wanted to stop his aggression.
That's fair, but what I'm saying is because if, say, by him not announcing and their rule states that if you don't put out a full raise amount, it's automatically a call. What that does is by forcing the call, it keeps the big blind in, gives him another chance to bluff. And if he was intending to raise, he may just, you know what I mean? He may just put the money in on the river anyways. Whereas if the action is, if you put more than half of the raise amount, so more than 105 would constitute a raise, so he has to move it up to 140. If he's semi bluffing here with the draw bricks, you're just getting an extra 20 in the pot
Yeah,
for when he just check folds the river.
yeah, maybe you're right. I choose to call, and we get a trickish river. He checks, easy game. And he shows a 9-5.
Nice.
Definitely a mark. That's why you don't play 9-5.
Yeah. See, and that actually goes back to if you would have clarified the raise before the maniac folded, he might have been on the spade draw. And then, does that make sense?
Yeah, you're right. If he was on a
So,
spade draw, he would have had to put money in on
so clarifying, and if it's not a full raise amount, it's only a call, then he calls, other guy gets to stay in and then sees the spade and he's going to commit more money. And Mr. 9-5 is probably never folding a 9 there because, well, somebody who's calling raises from the small blind with 9-5 is just not folding trips.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. All right, that's the one hand I had. I actually got to go.
Okay.
But
Well, then
are
I
you
guess
here
we'll call it
tomorrow?
early. All right. See you
Are you here
tomorrow.
tomorrow?
Hopefully. I
All
should
right.
be.
All right. Hopefully we can have another session tomorrow.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.